We are answering this question before us. It says, find the quadratic function f such that f of 4 and f of negative 2 is equal to 0 and f of 0 is equal to 16. Okay, a couple important things here. We're told that we're dealing with a quadratic. That's important because we know generally what the shape of this graph is going to be. Also, it's also important to notice that this is a quadratic, and in conjunction with this fact that f of 4 and f of negative 2 is equal to 0. What that is telling me, what I'm kind of picturing in my head, is I've got some sort of parabola. I don't know that it looks like this, but some sort of parabola in which I have an x-intercept at 4 and an x-intercept at negative 2, because this is telling me that when I put 4 in, I get 0 out, and when I put negative 2 in, I get 0 out. If I know that my graph looks something like this, I can therefore say that f of x is going to be equal to x plus 2, x minus 4. Because if I used my null factor theorem, which tells me, you don't have to write this down, but if I set this equal to 0 and then solve for x, it's telling me that I have an x-intercept at negative 2, and that's what we see there. So that's kind of how we're thinking it through. But normally the way people mess up this question is they just stop here. They're like, I did it, hooray, and then walk away. But you can't do that. You have to remember that you have to put a dilation factor here. So a factor that is affecting the dilation, which is occurring here. So you have to put a factor there. And that's why they've given us this information here. With this final piece of information, we can figure out what this variable k is going to be. So I'm going to sub in that to solve for k. So I know that f of 0 is equal to 16. So that means 16 is equal to, I've got k. Now I'm just putting 0 in there. Okay, there we go. Therefore, k is going to be equal to negative 2. Therefore, f of x is equal to negative 2, x minus 4, x plus 2. And just like that, we are done. And as you can see, my original graph was actually not correct. It should have looked like that. But for our purposes, this was just kind of helping us picture something in our head. That's all it was functioning as. It wasn't to do anything precise. And yeah, so let's get rid of it, just as not to confuse ourselves. There is our answer. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'll see you later.